I explained, I think it was last week, on these commemoratives about the high commissions and the tremendous losses people have taken on them. And, you've got to go to a dealer who you can trust, and Melody is one of them.
Thank you. One of them. I'm the only one. I'm the only one, folks. Okay, we got some questions here. This is from Chris. With the coming plunge in the general stock market, will the metals market drop some?
No. As I explained earlier in the program, there's going to be a flight to quality. Anything that will hold its value or anything that will make money. And it won't be in the market, it won't be in bonds, and it won't be in real estate. So you got to tell me what's left. Old popsicle sticks or caps off of Pepsi-Cola. I think you're getting the message. Gold and silver are the only safe place. We know that there's tremendous monetization going on in the market by the Fed right now, and there's major problems ahead, and gold and silver are going to be the place to be.
This question just came in. It's an interesting question, and usually I get these types of questions on the telephone when people are purchasing. Because of my last name, there's quite a few people in the state of Arizona with the same last name, and this person is assuming that we are all together because of that, and he is wrong. There is no association at all with this company or with any other company, and there's various companies in Arizona, not just, in fact, there's two. There's no association whatsoever. So I do try to clarify this when anyone calls. So thank you for the question, Tom, because if you're thinking it, I'm sure there's others that have thought it, and there is no association whatsoever. Another question that has come in, and again, I do a much better job, not only in the prices and the service, but also the quality of the products. This is in from Will. Daily we see the London Gold Fix, both AM and PM, which incidentally is remarkably indicative of the spot price. The spot price of gold trades in a very narrow band or near the fixed price. Please explain who and what this gold cartel is and how they are able to set or fix the price gold trades at each day.
Well, I've been doing it since the 1600s, and the leader of the pack used to be Rothschild, and about maybe 3-4 years ago, they decided to give up their seat in for the London fixing, and the membership has changed somewhat, and I think there's 4 or 5, maybe 6 firms that get together and they match buys and sells. And if there's more buys than sells from the last fixing, they'll probably move the price up, and vice versa. And I can't even remember who the new members are, but I know Johnson Matthey is one, and I know Rothschild is not.
This is in from Bill. You also have this question. With the prices going up for fuel and the increases follow-on impact on goods such as groceries, Bill would expect that this would be reflected in the next inflation figures to be released. Should this not have a substantial impact on the gold price within the next month?
Well, I don't know about substantial, but I think thinking people who understand the markets realize that monetization is immediately inflationary. And if you remember, I said last November that I thought that the Treasury had already begun selling treasuries to the Federal Reserve secretly. I don't have any confirmation of that, but I could tell by the market. And then 2 months ago, they admitted that they were going to buy a minimum at this time of $300 billion worth of treasuries, either from the Treasury or out of the market, and monetize them. And they were going to buy about $900 billion worth of toxic waste, which was or is bonds that are made up of mortgages. And they've been in the process of doing that. And that's monetizing, too. I saw yesterday that Citibank, which had received a large amount of TARP money, was starting to lend it. That's monetizing, too. And the reason for all of that to be monetized is because it's being spent in the market. That's what monetization means in this case. And being spent in that market is a very important event because the Federal Reserve creates the money out of thin air. They debit their own book and credit the books of the banks or the Treasury or the sellers of toxic waste or whatever. The Fed, which is a private organization, is the lender of last resort, and that's their function within society. I'm working as hard as I can on Ron Paul's new bill, which now has 149 co-sponsors, to investigate the Fed, and it's H.R. 1207. And you should get hold of every congressman and tell them to get it out of committee and vote for it and get it passed. And if we were to pass that in the House and Senate, the next step would be to do away with the Fed and give that job, which constitutionally belongs to the U.S. Treasury.
I believe it was earlier in this week, Bob, that I believe it was Bernanke that spoke at on Jekyll Island.
In the same room that they made their deal back in it was in November of let's see, it was past. Yeah, it was October of 1913.
So oftentimes you mention that, they're in the numbers, they're into, so, it's kind of just like in your face, a significance. I don't know what the significance was, but
Satanism.
Yes. The gas at the pump is going up very quickly, ranging between $2.19 and $2.29. The cost of oil hovers around 57 barrels. Is the government somehow involved and is siphoning money to support their habit of $1 trillion budget?
I know that the government's in every market. I know that the government has driven down oil prices. I also knew that they ran them up, too. And they do that through their intermediaries like Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan Chase and Citigroup, all of whom are shareholders of the Federal Reserve. But we never know exactly what they're doing because they won't tell you. I mean, even the Fed refuses federal court orders, and nothing is done about it to answer questions for federal court judges. It's incredible. There aren't any laws anymore. It is what they want it to be.
Evan has a question regarding, according to Saudi Gazette, the Taliban in Afghanistan as well as in Pakistan are from the Pashtun tribe. The Taliban represent zealous and mountain Islamism, yet their Pashtun identity are more important. Is this a way to splinter Pakistan and introduce an Islamic Pashtunistan by Mossad, CIA?
Yeah, I think what they want to do is balkanize the country. The British balkanized it previously, and some of the tribes are half in Afghanistan and half in Pakistan. And that was done for a reason as well. And anything that they can divide and conquer when they need a war on demand